Welcome to Julie the Thrifty Designer. Well, today I've decided to show how I'm going to set up this little console table I have right next door to my back door. And well, what I'm using with it is a bunch of antiques that I have found around the house. They're things we've had forever. And I just thought, let's try something new and different. I know I'm always old world and English style, and this is a departure from my style. I thought, let's just try to show something that maybe other people might like besides my own style and create a look that has a little more old-fashioned, good old, just Americana maybe. So I decided to start with, I'm leaving the antique radio because that's part of the look. And then I left my other things there because I just don't want to take those down. But I added the gingham red and white checkered tablecloth just to bring in something from the era of the radio. Let's see what we can make over here. Okay, now yes, this is not an old lantern, but I felt like the lantern goes with the theme. So I just simply placed a lantern in there with a candle. I think that looks pretty neat. It's interesting so far. Okay, next, what I've done is just put an old, I don't know, coffee pot, teapot. Unfortunately, the lid has come up missing. I don't know what happened to it. I used to have it, but I don't know what happened to it. It's disappeared. So now I've added that there. Let's see what else we can do. Next, I've added this old stone pot that they would have put, I don't know, whatever drinking they would want to when they traveled or just out on the job. Maybe they were plowing the fields and they just carried that out with them with water in it or tea in it or something, and they could just take a sip of it. And it seals nice and tight. And it's very, I don't know if it is old, but it sure looks it, and it adds to the antiquity of this. Okay, next, I've added an old bread tin. They would put their dough in that, and they would bake their bread in it because it closed up like really tight. And it would bake, and when they got done, when they pull it out, they would have this amazing shaped piece of bread, or, nice loaf of bread. And it's very old as well. Okay, next to that, I have put an old flour sifter. And it's really actually very useful. This one is a good design. You just shake it back and forth. And it really makes a neat way of sifting the flour. And it's also very old. Next, I added this old Brasso can that's a polisher to bring things back to shining. It's very old as well. You can barely see it, but it's right there behind the flour sifter. It's just interesting and unique and old and different. Okay, next to the lighted scent pot right in the middle, I put a really old medicine bottle. It was found and it's kind of dirty inside and everything. And an old pocket watch. It only has one hand on it. The other one is missing and the glass is missing. But it just adds some interesting detail. I like how that looks. It's just a way to display your antiques in an interesting way. Okay, I don't think you can see it very well from this vantage point, but I'll show it up close in a little bit. But to the left of the coffee pot, I have two glass doorknobs. Antique for sure. And I just stacked them over there just for a spot of interest. And it looks pretty neat in person. Okay, next to the little brown jug and this flour sifter, I have added an old-fashioned pencil sharpener. And I still use this pencil sharpener to this day. That thing is amazing. I am so glad I have it. And it's very old, but it works still like a dream. So far, I think this is looking pretty good. Now let's kind of accessorize it a little bit and bring it to life. Okay, Now, in the coffee pot, I just simply put a little bush of some beautiful little roses. I think it just looks springy, summery, very pretty, and a spot of color. And I think it just helps to bring this to life. Okay, next, what I have done is just put in some of my fruit. I have the grapes. And I think there's one in each corner and then a couple right in the middle around the bread tin. It's just bringing out a pop of everything. I just think it looks really neat. Last but not least, I have a wreath holder, and I put a wreath with a sign that says blessed. And I think that really brings all of this home and makes a very beautiful way to display antiques. And so I did go into a spot of country with the gingham check, the red and white. My mother always had red and white gingham check curtains in her country style kitchen. So, and some of these were her antiques, and some I've just accumulated way back when. But I think it has a really sweet look to this. It's a neat way to display our antiques. I also left all the greenery that I've had on here and my Christmas lights for a really nice spot of color. Well, I hope this helped you to have ideas on what you can do to put your antiques out. If you have any and you want to display them in interesting and creative ways. I think it's clever and unique and fun. And it's a way to come over and just look at your antiques and enjoy them. Me, I've had them packed away for years. I used to use them all the time when I decorated totally the old fashioned country in the 1980s look, and 90s. But then I got tired of it and went the old world style. And I still like my old world, don't get me wrong. But as I was going through some things, I found the box of these antiques and I thought, hey, things like this is coming back right now anyway. And why don't I just go ahead and give you an idea of how you can display them and make them pop and just have fun with it with a newer way, maybe. I'm not sure. I don't have the white farmhouse look, but this is still an old-fashioned way of looking at things, the way they would have used it back in the old farmhouses, maybe. So I hope this has inspired you to make up something fun and interesting out of your antiques. So I just want to say to all of you, thank you so much for watching, and you take care, and God bless.